All right, guys, so she's going up on the jacks. We're getting some tires for her today. Just some used ones, nothing crazy, but it's gonna be way better here in a minute. So one wheel's off. What we're gonna end up doing is do some skinny tires in the front and wider in the back. We're just getting used tires right now just to kind of get it sitting somewhat okay. They're not as wide as I want, but we're doing this for like 150 bucks. So just trying to get at least sitting somewhat okay, and then we'll dial it in later. But we're gonna do, I think 225s in the front, or try to, and then do 255s in the back. Here we go. This is gonna look funny on the truck. Look at the size of those compared to this size. I don't know, guys. That looks so tiny. I don't know, we'll try it. This is just for fun more than anything. So while he works on the front tires and the rear now, I've never had these wheels off. I just noticed that there's like a 1 inch or 1.5 inch spacer on the back. So kind of cool. I didn't really notice it. Maybe you guys noticed it in the videos, but there's a huge spacer on the rear wheels. So kind of cool. So there's that, and I don't think we're gonna go with the skinny idea for now because it's 9-inch wide rim, so it'll be kind of weird. So we're gonna go with 245s all the way around. Only thing is the fronts are gonna be just a little bit skinnier. I think 245, 45 in the front, 245, 50 in the rear. So this thing's not making enough jam to get much bigger rubber. If we start roasting it, like I said, this is like $150 tires from Cali Tire Shop over here. So we're just messing around. I just want to get it closer to where it's supposed to be. And then once we start dialing in the look, we'll get some different tires. But I just needed those huge tires off there for today. All right, guys, here's kind of the preview before they go on. It's gonna look way different. All right, guys, that's how she looks. So we're gonna keep looking. We're gonna get some wider tires for the back, but at least this is close for now. So these ones are a little bit too skinny. These are 245, 45s in the front, 245, 50 in the back. So I think what I'm gonna do is try to keep a lookout for wider tires for the back. We'll put these on the front so we have a little bit skinnier, and then we'll replace these skinny ones with maybe like 265 or 275 in the back. Then we'll be sitting proper. But this gets us closer to where we need to be. We got the old tires in the back. Let's get out of here. So one thing we do have to figure out is what the heck is rattling on this thing. It sounds like a sway bar end link that's just like, I don't know if you guys can hear that. It just keeps rattling over everything. Besides the exhaust leak though, she sounds good. Like, listen. Okay guys, so we're back in the boosted garage. Let me flip this camera around and show you guys what it kind of looks like after maybe it's set a little bit. We drove around a tiny bit back, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. I do have to wash all the dirt off the tires, but let me show you. So here's how it's sitting, and it's almost looked like it got like a lift kit now, because before when we had those big tires that are in the back, it kind of filled out the wheel well. But now that we have smaller tires, which I know they're a little bit smaller than what's supposed to be on there, but they're closer, and now you can kind of see how much fender gap this thing truly has. So we're probably gonna need like I would say like a 7-inch drop to look real good. 5 to 7 for sure. I don't think we're gonna go 2.4 on this thing. We're gonna have to drop it down. So just for reference, this is what we got on here, and what we had on there were these hankooks. They were 265, 65, 17s. These things were huge compared to what's on there now. Like, it's almost car tires that are on there, but the tires that are supposed to be on these Dakotas, the 255, 55, 17, it's a really oddball size. So like I said, what I'm gonna do, we'll put those on the front. I'm gonna look for like some 275s to put on the rear. Honestly, you can't even spin these right now because it doesn't really have that much power. But something just came in the mail that we've been waiting for a little while, and it just showed up. So let's go ahead and show you guys what that is. So I haven't opened it just yet. Let's grab a knife and open this thing. I know what it is. You guys are gonna love this. If I can open it with one hand, like we always do, let's set this down. You guys ready? So let's open this thing. I'm pretty excited about this. Uh-oh, you guys aren't gonna believe this. Uh-oh. Check this out. This thing is going to make the truck much faster. So we got this. But what would it be without a little bit of a tease? So these guys are one of the only ones that make a tuner for this truck. So yeah, we need to tune this thing. So we're going to use this, but we still have some stuff to cover. I'm not gonna open it just yet. You guys are gonna have to wait for the unboxing on this. So we're gonna have a few videos on this. We're gonna unbox it. We're gonna do before and after and see what kind of difference this thing makes. So I'm pretty excited about this one. So hopefully you guys are too. But that's how we're gonna leave it for today. One more thing I wanted to show you guys is I haven't completely confirmed it yet, but I'm just keeping you guys up to date. It looks like we still, maybe not. There was a couple drips off the bottom of the transmission, but I think it was just from what we had done previously. I could be wrong, I don't see any drips just yet. I was thinking maybe it might be a pan gasket as well, but looking at it now, I don't know if it is leaking. Kind of looks like it, but let me check it out. So it's definitely not leaking from where the neutral safety switch was, because that's dry there, but I do have a little bit of fluid on the front of the cover here. So I don't know if it's gonna be, and there's like a drip here forming. Definitely transmission fluid because it's red, and kind of a drip here. So if anything, I'm gonna wipe this. It might be either these bolts are loose or this gasket needs to be replaced, or a combination of the two. Either way, it doesn't look like it's leaking terribly, but as you guys know, or probably know by now, I do want everything to be 100%. So we'll wipe this again. And we'll see if it starts forming. I'm also gonna grab a wrench or a ratchet and see if these are loose at all. Maybe we can snug them up a tiny bit. Oh, it's actually really loose. Let's see how the other ones are. Yeah, these are all loose, you guys. Well, this one's really loose. Super loose. Well, that one's super loose too. What the heck? So we tightened all those transmission bolts with a 13 mil. So hopefully that snugs up the leak. It wasn't anything crazy, but they definitely were loose. So if we can get away with not doing a transmission pan gasket right now, I'll take it. So I'm gonna give the truck a quick bath since these tires have a bunch of junk on them. So we'll get them cleaned up and get some tire shine on them, see how everything looks. Plus the truck's kind of, even though it looks somewhat clean, it's pretty filthy just from sitting around in the dust for a while. So let me rinse everything off quick. All right, with the truck being a little bit lower because of the tire size, I think it's deserving of the Ram's stubby antenna. And it doesn't even have radio, so who cares if we lose reception. So I'm gonna take off this big mast and we'll put on this little stubby. Oh, I spoke too soon. For some reason I just assumed it would be the same, but as you can see, the one for the Ram is much thicker thread than the one for the Dakota, so I'm gonna have to order a different stubby. Unfortunately, this big mast is gonna have to go back on today. Actually, forget it. We don't even have a radio, so we might as well just take it off and leave it off. Looks better anyways. All right, so the truck is in, it's clean again, and we got some tire shine on there so you can kind of get an idea of how it looks. Yeah, I know, I agree. The front tires do look a little small, but again, these aren't going to be permanent. What I do want to do is take the rears, put them on the front once I find a decent set of fatter tires that are about the same profile for the back. Not so much the back or the front profile, but the back profile. So I want to get something that's a little bit wider, a little bit meatier, and then put these 245s on the front. So I think that's gonna look good because the fronts, I just kind of got it. Again, just so you guys have an idea, it was 150 bucks installed for all four. So it's just a set of used tires. So these tires at least get the Hankook tires that I had on off of these rims so that I can sell them, recoup some money, and because those tires were like brand new, those Hankooks, and that way we can get ourselves some better tires. So I'm not upset by this. The truck honestly isn't even making enough power to spin these. I don't think, at least. I mean, you could probably spin anything, but I mean, for the most part, we should be able to get some decent traction with 245s because this thing isn't a powerhouse just yet by any means, but you guys gotta admit, it is looking better. This is getting harder and harder to look at, but I'm gonna hopefully get a drop kit soon. So that's kind of one of the next things we're gonna be on the lookout for. We still have a lot of stuff. Also, I will show you guys or tell you guys that we have some headers on the way. So I have some headers on the way. I'm just trying to wrap up a few things with it, but we're getting really close to being able to start having some fun with this thing. So you guys can probably admit it's come a long way and it's starting to look like something. So it's not a priority, but at some point I do want to get a windshield because it's kind of bugging me. So let's get your opinion on this. Will you guys bother changing this trim around when I get a new window? Because most window places are just going to take this off, put your existing trim back on and slam your window back in unless you're spending $1 million. Because on this side, that side doesn't look too bad, but on this side, our trim is pretty baked. Like, I don't know if you guys are able to see that or the camera's able to pick it up. It's kind of like, almost like shriveled up. It kind of like, you know, when your skin, you've been in the hot tub too long, it kind of looks like that. So, and then this piece here doesn't seem to want to stay in. It might once they reseat the window. Actually, it might, I don't know. This doesn't look too bad, but this is definitely dried out. So do you think I should go through the hassle of getting new trim for this? It's kind of a waste of money, but it's just these tiny little things that kind of, I don't know, they kind of annoy me. So you can see how the windshield's all cracked here. It's not cracked in where you're looking through, but just another thing that if we're gonna try to get this truck in tip-top shape again is something that we're gonna have to tend to. But yeah, I think even just looking at it through the camera here, looking much better, sitting a little bit lower where it should be, and we're starting to get something here. Also, just a small side project. Let's take off this latch because I'm going to try to start figuring out how we can fix this latch for you guys. It's just a cheap fix since everybody seems to want to brake like this, and that way I can put my glove box in. So it's 2 Phillips screws, one here, one here. I'm gonna take these 2 out, see what I can come up with. Probably not gonna do the fix in this video, but I'm gonna start on that project at least. Okay guys, so I mentioned earlier today in this video that I thought maybe a, not tie rod end, but maybe a sway bar end link or something was worn out because every time you hit a bump, you would hear this noise. Well, after hitting it with my fist for the last 10 minutes, I found out that it's just a little clip that's on the inside of here. You probably can't see that, but it's literally just this. And when you hit or vibrate anywhere, you get this loud bang. So if I hold this clip tight, so if I use my knee here, we get silence. So I'm gonna screw this together because this came a little bit loose, and that should be the end of my annoying rattle. So here is the culprit that I'm dealing with. So I gotta try and get some PV blaster on there to loosen it up, but I need to tighten this thing right here. Okay, so that one's fixed, but I think I may have spoke too soon because if I bang the wheel over here where it was coming from, you can hear some sort of heat shield is loose or something. Listen. That's the noise we're hearing. So looks like I have to take this wheel off and find out where that noise is coming from because that noise is making me crazy. You guys, you have no idea what I just found. Not good. It's fixable. But whoever was working on this truck before should not have been anywhere close to a wrench. I can't believe what I just found. So the noise that I was hearing from this wheel is the caliper. It is ready to fall off. I could probably just pull this caliper off right now if I wanted to. So if you look down in here, there's the bolt, and these bolts are pretty much just hanging here. Like the caliper essentially could come off right now at any time. That is insane. Like these slider pins are just sitting here. Like this caliper could literally come off. It's pretty much coming off. So I don't know if the bolts are stripped, the wrong bolts, the right bolts, but they're pretty much out. Like it is literally, the caliper is ready to come off like right now. Watch, I'll show it to you at the same time that I'm finding out. If I slide these slider pins out just a tiny bit more, this caliper will just come flying off right now. I cannot believe that. Like look, there's a slider pin, it's just literally coming out right now. So this caliper is literally, I haven't brought any wrenches over, nothing. That is just insanity. Well, I'm gonna put this camera down for just a second, remove the lower pin, and I'm gonna have to see if this is stripped out. The threads are stripped on my actual spindle, which it seems they are. I think the bolts are completely stripped on the spindle, so I probably need a new spindle. Never ends, never ends. So these threads are stripped on the actual spindle, so unless I were to tap it or something, or get something different, or these are the wrong size, I don't know. I'm gonna have to compare the other side at this point, but this is not good. At this point, I don't trust almost anything on this truck. It's just like absolutely insane. So I wasn't planning on putting the truck on the lift because I just wanted to investigate a rattle. I thought maybe it was a heat shield, a brake heat shield. But now I'm gonna put that other wheel back on just so I can roll the truck forward and get the arms underneath it. Both front wheels are coming off at this point. I gotta see what's going on with this side too because I don't trust it either. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so here we go again. Whatever slider pin somebody decided to use. Okay guys, so here's where we're at. So I just want to start off by saying somebody probably knew about this. Definitely wasn't safe to continue driving it this way, but that's what we're left with. So there's two brand new, or I wouldn't say brand new, but fairly recent front wheel bearings. So somebody at some point had to take all this off to put in these wheel bearings. There's one here, and I'll show you in a second. The other side just looks just as new. So these are new wheel bearings. So bonus for us that we got new wheel bearings, but these are both completely stripped. So these are the pins. I've got good threads on all 4 pins, but you can see that's the size that it should be. Same with here. But on the back, if you try putting in, we are completely stripped out. So somebody stripped and pulled out the threads there. Somebody also stripped and pulled out the threads there. So that's that one. Moving on to the other side. On the bottom, same deal. Somebody completely pulled out the threads on that one. And on the top, we've got some bite. So that's where we're left. And this is the actual spindle. If I go back to the other side. Oh, here. See? Another new wheel bearing that's on here. So this is part of our spindle here. So what we're left with now is either a few options. We replace the spindle with another original one so that we can have our threads for our caliper so that we have a safe truck. Option 2 is we drill these out and heli coil them, which isn't a bad option, honestly, to the correct thread here. So that would be option 2. That would be one of the easier options because replacing this whole spindle would be quite a bit of work. Option 3 is we start looking at lowering kits for the truck and see if there's drop spindles that replaces the spindle, but that's probably our most expensive option. So that's kind of where we're at. I'm gonna see if there is a heli coil. I gotta find out what size thread this is. If you guys know offhand, definitely let me know in the comments below, but I might just try to heli coil these since they're so accessible. And then I can put this thing back in service because I still wanna get this thing fully registered and all that stuff because there's still some pending stuff on it. So I do wanna be able to drive this. If we, like I said, heli coil it, I can probably have the thing operational and we can start driving it and doing some test drives and comparisons and all that stuff, which is what I want to get into. But otherwise, if we look for drop spindles, if they even exist, I don't know at this point, I still have to do my research. That's going to be pricey, or trying to find these at a junkyard is the other option. But the quickest option would be to try to heli coil these and put this thing back in service. So anyways, let me know what you guys would do in this situation. Not the best situation, but again, it's kind of, everybody that's been following this build knows that this truck has some sort of weird history from whoever the previous owners were, but we're working through it. So definitely, I don't know, this one scares me a little bit, honestly, you guys. So, I mean, yeah, if I had lost the brakes in this truck, it wouldn't have been good. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Somebody put the brakes on, and I mean, all the bolts were in place, so it's not like, you know, when you buy a new vehicle, you literally go over every single bolt and tighten everything, but this is a little bit of a surprise. But I think that's gonna pretty much do it for today's video, because I gotta go see if I can find what thread this is and start trying to figure out how we're gonna resolve this so that we can put this truck back in commission. All right, you guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. So not all bad, but at the same time, I would have liked, obviously I would have not liked that to happen, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go get cracking on that, see what solutions I can come up with. But on a positive note, we have that Diablo Sport tuner that we're gonna be able to try out. But I mean, the truck doesn't even, it's out of commission now, so that's gonna be delayed. And like I said, I have a pair of headers that are coming for this thing, so that'll fix the exhaust leak. But I was hoping to get a few more things done so that we could start tearing into that and get to the mods. But if I can't get this resolved in a hurry, then the mods are gonna get delayed. So not that much, but I gotta get the caliper back on it so I can continue to drive it. Like I said, to get this thing fully registered so that we can start modding it. But that's where we're at right now. But anything we've talked about today, make sure you leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your opinions on all this stuff. And I mean, a lot went on in this little video. So between the brakes, the tires, the new tuner that showed up, the exhaust manifolds that are coming, there's a lot going on. So I'd love to hear your feedback. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you on the next one.